Hi, you guys. Welcome back. This is Richard Sachs, and I'm your host on Lost Arts Radio. This is a safe stream version, so named so that we could stay on this particular platform for a while, and hope that all of you get in touch with us at lostartsradio.com, where we have all kinds of videos and articles and news-related items posted almost every day over there. And it also shows where you can follow us on different platforms where we're allowed to speak more freely. And on this one, I've just been trying to stay in touch with the people that listen to us here without disappearing suddenly, hoping that you'll find our other platforms and things like that. And usually what I do is come on this one for a couple minutes before the main Lost Arts Radio live show, which is on the other platforms, and just give you a couple minutes about what the subject is. And today on Lost Arts Radio Live, which you can find by going to lostartsradio.com, I think it's the first time that I really focused a show on the military. And the reason is because of a couple of great videos that came up this week. I spend a lot of time reviewing local and national and world events every day for the videos and news articles that we post on lostartsradio.com. And there's a great news feed that I look at every day. It's excellent. And it's related to the practice of injecting things into your body to supposedly prevent disease, which I see no evidence has ever happened, but that's the excuse for doing it. And the guy that runs it, Brian Schivel, I think that's hopefully close to the right pronunciation. He's doing incredible work. I recommend everybody subscribe to that. And you can find it on lostartsradio.com. I think I can maybe mention the link to it. It's vaccineimpact.com. And if you get on the mailing list, it's 2 or 3 articles every day that are highly worthwhile, and the platform that we're on, actually, that I'm talking on right now, should appreciate it very much, because it's getting rid of misinformation, real misinformation. And the videos that came up this week on Brian's site were about what can I say to be safe? Crisis in the military, the U.S. military, but I'm sure it's going on in various forms in other places too, and that is threatening to destroy the U.S. military. And the reason that the U.S. state in general is important to the rest of the world is that the U.S. was founded with at least the ideal on paper of a country being justified in its existence as a structure to protect the individual rights of its citizens. And that's the only reason. Not to go out and start wars and invade other countries and do a lot of aggressive, proactive military operations called defense when they're not. It's just to protect the freedoms of the people. And so what we're going to talk about today is what's going on with the force in the U.S. that is supposed to be protecting the people, and that's its really only reason to exist. It's legitimate, and instead it's being misused and has been for a long time. In fact, that's been happening in general. Military forces have been misused by psychopathic rulers since before the start of history. It's not legitimate. It's not service to the people. The only reason for a country to exist is to protect individual freedom, not the collective good, but to recognize natural rights. And so I put a title on this short little piece today, who are the patriots in your country? And they're not the people who are cheering for your country to go out and start fighting with other countries when there's no reason to do that. Last-ditch defense is the only reason. So most of the country's military activities, especially the big ones like the US, for example, have been misusing the military for a long time. And I'm very pro-military. I think it's critical, like the president who we just had before the current one, to keep the military very strong, but absolutely only for defense. And instead of fighting with other countries' militaries, what you do is you meet with their leaders and negotiate, find common ground, and respect each other, and do that instead of fighting wars. And you get rid of the war industry. You know, the real defense industry, yeah, that's legitimate, but not the war industry by killing for profit. That's not something that leads to survival of anybody, especially with the weapons that are out there now. So, who are the patriots in your country? And we have listeners, you know, in all different parts of the world, many different countries. So I'm not just talking for the U.S. I'm talking for humanity. And patriots in your country are the people who want to make your country the greatest possible place for you to live in, not by giving you freebies or, you know, falling for the nonsense of socialism or tyranny in that form or any other, but protecting your freedom to make your own life and live however you want, learn from your own mistakes. And the people who need assistance in a free country tends to become very affluent and prosperous, and private charity springs up, and there's little, if any, need for government charity with strings attached. So the patriots are the people in your country that do what they can to contribute toward bringing it back to be a place of freedom, not worshiping the idea of fighting all the time. That's not patriotism. It's wisdom, and it's using the wisdom to act to bring the country back to sanity as a place where freedom is protected and the well-being of the people is left in their own hands, but they're given the freedom and the tools to make their own successful and prosperous life and respect each other and help others. And private charity tends to do really, really well along with general prosperity in an atmosphere like that. That was the idea on which the ideals of the United States of America were put together. And it was the United States of America, separate states, not a global corporation called the United States of America, all capitals. It was the United Individual States, and states are countries. So the U.S. was made up of a number of separate countries that originally formed a federation to help and protect each other, and then turned into an organization with the federal government that was extremely guarded and limited in its powers. It was only allowed to do a few things. Now we've got criminals running almost every country in the world, and patriots need to bring it back to sanity so it doesn't self-destruct. And the urgency of that is evident because the people in charge have a coordinated plan under their bosses who are not, they don't have allegiance to any particular country. They're global. And Trump was wrong about defining globalism. He said it was what was best for the world. If that were true, it would be great, because what's best for the world is free individual countries cooperating. But he was wrong. Globalism is a tyranny that is not aligned with any country that intends the extermination of life on this planet. And that's what's in progress now. And what's happening to the U.S. military is a step in that. And I can't say how it's being done, but I think you know, if you're used to this channel, what I'm talking about. The intent is to destroy the U.S. military completely, and it's in progress right now in a number of ways. But one physical way that is dominant and quicker than the others. It's not just teaching them to walk in high-heeled shoes. It's much more serious. So I'll be able to talk about it on the regular show. I don't know if there's anything else I'm safe to mention now, but Real patriots don't follow homicidal and suicidal orders. If they're working for an organization like the military or law enforcement or the government or the health industry, and they're given orders which kill people, which create murder or suicide or both, they don't follow those orders. They don't. They're not there to be against anybody. They're there to protect the people in their charge, which is the citizens that they're supposed to serve, and they don't do that by supporting tyranny. So you remember in the 30s in Germany, they had a situation where people were saying, well, I was just following orders. I just supported the Third Reich because I was ordered to. And that was not considered a valid excuse, and it's not an excuse now. And if you're in that system, you've got a choice, and it's a really important choice. And it's being made really difficult right now because in a lot of ways, and I have to be careful how much I say about this, but in a lot of ways, it's giving you the choice: lose your ability to support your family, lose your income, or support tyranny and support your own suicide. That's a really hard choice when you care about your family and your income and your reputation and your status. But suicide's not a really good option, nor is murder, nor is supporting criminal activity, whether you're ordered to or not. You really can't do it. So we have to help each other set up a new network and support system and countries based on freedom and respect of individual natural rights that come from God and can never be taken away by any government, any health agency, any kind of agency at all. Because if that were true, that natural rights could be taken away in a bad enough real emergency, they're not rights at all. They can disappear at any moment, and you get a corrupt government, and they can take away your rights in a flash. So the rights that you really have, even if everybody was dying in the street from the worst emergency you can imagine, government can't violate those rights. There's no emergency that justifies suspension of natural rights. And America was founded on that principle, and that could be lived up to now in any part of the world or all parts of the world. And we're being tested to see if we'll do it. And I recommend that we do it because it might be a really hard choice, but the other option is suicide and participation in major crime and murder. And once you see that, you can't do it. So that's where we stand right now. And it's time sensitive. You can't put it off indefinitely. And the authorities that are telling you to make the choice between being part of a crime or losing your livelihood, they're actually helping us make the choice faster because it's clear what it is. And if you destroy your own body, you're not going to be of any use to anybody else. Anyway, it's a little bit cryptic, and I hope you don't mind. It's the closest to open I can be on this channel because we've been warned that we're being re-educated and we're almost out of punishment stage. So we don't want to lose this connection with you. So that's about all I'll say on that. Go to lostartsradio.com, and if you do it quick, you might even be able to tune in to the real live show where I can say a lot more, and we've got some amazing video footage to show you that's worth seeing. lostartsradio.com. If you want to support us, there's a donate button there and a subscribe star link. But even if you don't have the resources to do that, you might want to help us share the links so that we can not get totally suppressed in reaching people. And the link below this is one way that you can watch the real Lost Arts Radio live show, which starts in 15 minutes from right now. And then after that is Planetary Healing Club meeting, accessible on that, which goes deeper into the whole issue for people that want to actually start transforming their own lives to be more useful to the world at this critical time. That's accessed at planetaryhealingclub.com. planetaryhealingclub.com. And we're interested in your feedback. Hopefully that people who are mad at me for being sarcastic will be okay with the show today, because although I'm not being too outspoken, I don't want to disappear from your vision here. None of this is sarcastic today. So anyway, thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. I'll see you if you can make it to the other platform in 14 minutes. And remember that we have a Sunday show too that is an incredible guest show with a lot of unacceptable guests that we can't show on this platform, but you go to lostartsradio.com and you can find out where to watch it if you're up to that. Okay, so I got to get ready for the live show, and I appreciate you very much. I consider you seriously the hope of the world. I'm absolutely serious. So it's a consciousness issue. If you can tune into that, do the work it requires, you can play the star role in deciding which turn for what kind of a future. All right. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time. And hopefully I'll see you in 13 minutes if you figure out how to tune into Lost Arts Radio Live. See you in a little while.